Broadcasting live from a hollowed out tree stump in the middle of no man's land. You reach Married with Comedy with Jeff Onyx and Joe Chandler. Strap in, boys and girls, and keep your arms and legs in the vehicle at all times, cause it's gonna get bumpy.
Yeah, hey, I'm flying solo this week. I keep wanting to go that direction, so I cut off the intro a little soon. That's all right. So, what's up? Married with Comedy, Jeff Onyx. Yeah, I chose to fly solo today. We're gonna do a short show. We got things to do, things happening. So let's just jump right in it, okay? All right then. Trivia snap. Cool. All right. Trivia question. The Wright brothers originally ran what kind of business? Clickety clack. Let me know in the chit chat if you know what's up. The Wright brothers originally ran what kind of business? That trivia snap. So yeah. All right, so this week in comedy history, we're just jumping through it. All right, so calm down. Don't be all freaking out. All right. This week in comedy history, we got that guy, John Pinette. John Pinette was born Jean Paul Pinette on March 23rd, 1964, in Boston, Massachusetts. He was an American stand-up comedian, an actor, and a Broadway performer. He died on April 5th, 2014, in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, at the age of 50. Pinette's personal doctor signed off on his cause of death as pulmonary embolism. Pulmonary embolism. So, John Pinette was named Stand-Up Comedian of the Year by the American Comedy Awards in 1999 and received a Gemini Award nomination for his television performance at Montreal's Just for Laughs Comedy Festival in the year 2000. He did a lot of movies, a lot of TV stuff, put out a lot of stuff. Okay. You might not know, at the time of his death, he still held the record for the highest selling one-person show in the history of Montreal's Just for Laughs Comedy Festival. Yeah, Just for Laughs Comedy Festival. So, John Pinette. That guy. So that was this week in comedy history. Hey, if you are a fan of the show, want to send us fan mail, you can send us fan mail care of Comedy Vets, P.O. Box 369, Lathrop, Missouri 64465. If you're an angry feminist, you can send us hate mail, HATEMALE, care of Comedy Vets, P.O. Box 369, Lathrop, Missouri 64465. Boom. Back to that. Keep hearing noises. Huh. People must be doing something outside, because I keep hearing noises. Alright, so I'm going to do... what are we going to do now? I'm going to do music appreciation. Yeah, music appreciation. So, where is it? Where is it? Why can't I find it? There it is. Music appreciation. Okay, so, boom. No. Yeah, these people. Boom. Music appreciation. This week's music appreciation is Five Iron Frenzy. Five Iron Frenzy is an American punk band. No. Five Iron Frenzy is an American band from Denver, Colorado. They formed in 1995. Best known for playing ska punk music characterized by an offbeat sense of humor and a prominent Christian theme. Five Iron Frenzy was one of the pioneering figures of the Christian ska movement, which emerged with ska's mainstream revival in the 1990s. Since the year 2000, the band's music has shifted away from straight ska to include and embrace stronger alternative rock and pop rock influences, though it continues to create ska music and features Christian overtones, despite several members having changed their religious belief. That is Five Iron Frenzy. And that was Music Appreciation. Man, turn it up today, brah. Turn it up. Yeah. Alright, so we're going to do the Science Denier of the Week. The Science Denier of the Week. The Science Denier of the Week is this dude. Amedeo Avogadro was born Lorenzo Romano Amedeo Carlo Avogadro, Count of Corregna and Sorrento on August 9th, 1776. He was an Italian scientist, most noted for his contribution to molecular theory, the molecular theory now known as Avogadro's law, which states that equal volumes of gases under the same conditions of temperature and pressure will contain equal numbers of molecules. He died in July 9th, 1856. Why is this guy a science denier? Huh? This guy's a science denier because at the time, people thought that the reason that like if you're taking a temperature, the reason that the mercury rises and falls is because there's more of whatever it is in the thing. Like they thought just magically the stuff, the mercury became more. There became more mercury. This guy was like, no, the reason that it did that is because the faster the molecules moved, the more room they took up, and the more volume and the more room they took up, that's what caused the mercury to rise. Because when you heat up gases or when you heat up something, the molecules move. So that's why they used to call him a science denier, because at the time, the settled science of the day was that the reason mercury rose is because there was more mercury in the tube. There was more mercury moving up. But that's not true. It was just molecules were moving a little bit faster, and that's what caused the mercury to move, and that's why it did what it did. Okay. Also, this guy did an experiment where he took 2 chambers, right? And he filled one of the chambers with gas. And he said, what's going to happen is the more you heat it up, they're going to try to move around more. And when you open up the chamber, those gas particles will move into another side. Or was that last week's guy? I thought it was this guy. Might have been last week's guy. Either way, this guy was like, yeah, molecules will move when they get hot because, and at the time people didn't know. They thought this guy was heretical for thinking about molecules and atoms and stuff like that. Just like the other guy from last week. Yeah. Pretty much the same kind of thing. Where people thought they were science, they were denying science because molecules and stuff. They're like, no, man, you can't do molecules. Molecules are bad. So that was the science denier of the week. All right. Oh, this one's going to be fun. This one's going to be fun. This one is Conjecture or Fact. Conjecture or Fact. Today's Conjecture or Fact is the Voynich manuscript. That thing. The Voynich manuscript. Okay. It's called the Voynich manuscript because there was this dude who basically was studying it and he owned it, and they called it the Voynich manuscript because the guy owned it. It was an illustrated, handwritten codex, and there was an unknown writing system that was written in, so nobody could decipher it. The pictures were sometimes realistic and sometimes they were outrageous, so people didn't know which one was going on. The vellum that it was written on was carbon dated to be early 15th century. Also, even if you don't believe in carbon dating, the vellum that was used, the way that it was processed, the chemicals and the chemical process and all of that that was used to create the vellum at the time dated between 1404 and 1438. So, you know, a stylistic analysis indicates that it may have been composed in Italy during the Italian Renaissance. The origins, authorship, and purpose of the manuscript are vigorously debated. Various hypotheses have been suggested, including that it's an otherwise unrecorded script for a natural language or constructed language, or it's an unread code, a cipher, or other form of cryptography, or it could be simply a meaningless hoax. A lot of people think that it's not a hoax because the stuff that's in it. But who wrote it? Who wrote it? That's the conjecture of fact. Who wrote it? All right, some people think Sir Roger Bacon wrote it. Some people believe that young Leonardo da Vinci, when he was small, wrote it. Let's look at what this says. Possible people who may have written it. Okay, so it could have been Roger Bacon, could have been Wilfred Voynich himself. Wilfred Voynich is the guy that owned it. He found it, or he bought it off of somebody, and he was trying to study it. It could have been Jacob of Tepenek. It could have been Athanasius Kircher. It could have been Raphael Minshavsky. Minshavsky. Could have been Antonio Averlino. Filrete. Okay, whatever. Could have been Cornelius Drebel. Could have been Anthony Ashkamek. Whatever. I think it was Roger Bacon. Me personally. I think Roger Bacon's the one that made it. You know what I'm saying? Roger Bacon. I think he's the one that did it. So they did some research into the parchment or the vellum and dated it between 1404 and 1438 based on what type of vellum it was and how it was created. Okay, it was made out of goat skin. The ink has a specific type of way that they made ink, and that is dated to around the same time, around the 1400s. The paint on it was also considered to be at that time period. That's how they did it around that time period, the 1400s. So basically, people can't decipher it. See, here's some script that's going on in there, and I've seen quite a few people, naked women. I've seen quite a few press releases, people saying that they solved it. I saw an in-depth video on YouTube about a guy going through the whole process of how he solved it. There was a Turkish guy that said he solved it. He and his son solved it. There was another guy that solved it. There was an English guy that solved it. There were a whole bunch of people that say they've solved it, but nobody's actually solved it. There's some weird text and stuff like that. So this is what they believe that it was done. This is what they believe was the text. Okay. They're saying that's A, that's B, that's C, that's D, that's E, that's F, G, H. They're just making it up. They don't know. They don't know. They think that's T and that's the capital T. That's K and that's a capital K. That's F and that's capital F. That's P and that's a capital P. Y and a capital Y. O and a capital O with the tail on it. Yeah. I don't know, man. Here's the thing. If that's the case, where is the W? Did they not use W's back then? Whatever. So there's another illustration of what's going on with it. You know? and it has this looks like a seahorse. Looks like a seahorse. That looks like a castle, obviously. Looks like a castle. Doesn't that look like a castle with a choo-choo train going around it? Choo-choo. It's a castle with a choo-choo train. In the 1400s, they didn't know what choo-choo trains were. That's some weird plant that was drawn on there. And that's the dude. No. That's, who is that guy? That's Joannes Marcus. And this is the Voynich guy. That's the guy studying the Voynich. He's studying different things to study the Voynich manuscript. So, you decide. Who wrote it? Let me know in the comments who you think wrote it. Was it Roger Bacon? Was it young Leonardo da Vinci? Was one of those other guys that were listed? Who do you think wrote it? Or has anyone solved it? And if you think somebody has solved it, in the description or in the comments, let me know who you think solved it, if somebody actually solved it. So that's the Voynich manuscript. The Voynich manuscript. Yeah. I don't know, man. All right. This is one of my favorite segments, the Outpost Survival Tip of the Week. Okay, so I'm going to share something. The Outpost Survival Tip of the Week is this. A little mini stove. Comes in this little pouch. Has this little stove. It opens up like this. Opens up like that. Let's do the top down. Where's the top down? There you go. The mini stove. And this thing, it closes like this. And then you can open it up. Come on. Put it up like that. These little feet open up. That. It has this little knob. This is what lets gas in and out. It has an igniter. You push this, and this little igniter up here at the top ignites the gas. It has the orange part here is the normal part that goes onto a normal canister. This silver part is an adapter. That part that comes apart. The silver part is an adapter so that you can fit it onto. Let's get back to this other screen. You could fit it onto a canister like this. So you can screw that on there like that. I'm not going to do it because it stinks. Screw that onto there like that. And then you open up the valve and you click that thing and it starts the fire. Have all these feet up. Make sure all the feet are up like that. And then the thing will sit like this, like that. And then what you do is you put a pot or something on top of it to cook. And it comes with a this little plastic stand. And the point of this plastic stand we figured out was you're supposed to be able to attach the smaller canisters have a little lip around the bottom of this, and you can snap it in there, and then this holds the canister, so it has a bigger footprint. See, but we've used it without this, just sitting on this thing right here, and it works perfectly fine. You can put pretty heavy stuff on there. I mean, you could put a cast iron skillet on there and cook with it. So, boom, right there. So I'm going to close this. Close that, and it comes with this awesome little pouch that goes in there like that. Has instructions, and then this goes in here like this. The little thing folds up, goes into the pouch. The pouch is actually way too big for this thing. When when I put it in my bug out bag, I don't keep that stand in there, and I just put this in one of my pouches in my bag. I normally put it like in a Ziploc bag or something, and then put it in my bug out bag. So the Outpost survival. Oh man, that's stupid. Look at that. Nope. Where is it? I had the conjecture fact thing over the Outpost survival tip of the week. So the Outpost survival tip of the week is little stove. These little stoves. This is an Ozark Trail one. This one was like $15. They have them for 20, 30, 40, 50 bucks. They have the ultralight ones that are made of titanium that are really, really super light. This is light enough as it is. They sell some of these little stoves that have really big stand, really big feet, so that when you put a pot on top of it, it can hold more stuff or a larger thing. But really, if you center it on the thing, you shouldn't have any problem. We put a pot that was about that big around on it, and it worked perfectly fine. I'm sure if you put a skillet on there about that big around, it should work. You could try larger things. Really, I don't think it'd matter if you put something bigger on there. So that was the Outpost survival tip of the week. Camping stove, folding stove. Boom. All right, so now we do back in the day. So back in the day, I used to skateboard. I used to skateboard a lot. Okay. But when I first started skateboarding in the 70s, in the 1970s, skateboards didn't look anything like what they look like today. And this one is actually from the early 80s, late 70s, early 80s. This is a skateboard. This is the GT Coyote 2. GT Coyote. No, this is a GT Coyote 3. This is a GT Coyote 3. Now, when I first started skateboarding, the skateboard was as big as this middle part right here. That thin. Okay. When I first started riding a skateboard. And of course, before they were plastic, there was the Veriflex board, and they were plastic, and then they had fiberglass, and they had a bunch of different stuff. They had metal ones. But before there were skateboards like this, people would take the roller skates and attach them to a piece of wood, and that's how you got a skateboard. And this one, actually, what's funny is they would take those roller skates, put them on a piece of wood, and put a milk crate or a box on the front with a piece of wood across it, and they would use it with a handle, and they would just like a scooter. It would be a little scooter. Oddly enough, this one can be converted into a scooter. It has a hole here where you put the scooter thing in there, and then it also has these little holes on here to secure. You would put a cotter pin through there to hold the handle, so it would have a handle, and the little kid would ride on this skateboard. So skateboard. Nowadays, skateboards look a lot different than what they used to. You cannot tray flip on this. You might be able to, like, we used to ride these in swimming pools. If you could imagine, we would ride that in a swimming pool. I don't know if you could ride this in a swimming pool, but we used to ride those in swimming pools. So that's the back in the day skateboard. Skateboard. Back in the day, we had skateboards. 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 Nobody's chatting with me. That's all right. Leave a comment if you had a skateboard. What kind of skateboard? What type of skateboard was the first skateboard you ever used? Ever skateboarded on? Was it a scooter type skateboard? Was it a skateboard with a handle? Was it skateboard with plastic rails on it? Was it skateboard with truck guards or tail guard? Did it have? Was it made of wood or plastic or what? Was it a normal skateboard? Was it a normal size skateboard that they have today? Was it a huge skateboard like they used to have when I used to start when I started skating seriously? We used to have really large pool skateboards that had giant tail on them. I mean, they were huge. Mrs. Onyx says if she would have had one, she would have been seriously injured because she has no balance. No balance. Yeah, that's funny. So, oh, mom, here we go. It's the pathetic pet of the week. The pathetic pet of the week. We're going to do the pathetic pet of the week. But by the way, I'm running this off of my phone. Normally I have a tablet in here, and I clickety clack on the tablet. But the phone's actually working pretty good. No, I can't use the phone when I have somebody on the phone. That's why I don't have any guests today. We're cutting it short today because I want to spend time with my lady. But also, I'm using this. Don't have my tablet, and I don't need to because I don't have no phone going on. Anyway, so today's pathetic pet of the week is Chubbles. Meet Chubbles. This is Chubbles. 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 Chubbles hanging out. Chubbles with the child. Chubbles laying down. Chubbles standing up. Chubbles laying down on a rug. That's Chubbles. Chubbles is a Labrador Retriever mix located in Independence, Missouri. Let's see. Chubbles is a senior female, medium sized and black. So that's Chubbles is a girl. Chubbles is a girl, a senior girl. Her characteristics are affectionate, gentle, quiet. She's good in a home with other dogs and children. She has a medium coat. Her adoption fee is $100. She's house trained, and all her stuff is up to date. Meet Chubbles. Chubbles is a calm, gentle soul, one of the sweetest, mellowest dogs you'll ever meet. She has arthritis in her back hips, so she moves around very slowly and shouldn't go on long walks, but she still loves walking around the play yard, following her person around and joining in with a group. She's quiet and a bit shy, but affectionate. She goes along well with other dogs, but may get pushed aside by more active ones. She would be a great companion for a less active person who wants a low energy, loving friend. She's at Shep's Place Senior Dog Sanctuary in Independence. You can contact them at 816-786-8664. And again, that's Chubbles. Chubbles. Wow, Chubbles is cute. But that's the pathetic pet of the week. The pathetic pet of the week. Yup. All right. Hey, 30 minutes. When I'm by myself, I do the show in 30 minutes. I did the show in less than 30 minutes. I'll give you the trivia question. The trivia question was, the Wright brothers originally ran what kind of business? What kind of business did the Wright brothers originally run? The answer is a bicycle repair and design company. The name of their business was the Wright Cycle Company. The Wright Cycle Company. So the Wright brothers, they had a a thing. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, well, that was Married with Comedy. Short show today. Comment, like, subscribe, whatever. If you have any conjecture, fact, ideas that you would like to throw at us, let me know. Send it in the comments, or in the comments you can tell us if there's a science denier that we should highlight. If you have an Outpost survival tip, we'd love to hear it. If you have a comedian, somebody that you think that we should highlight in This Week in Comedy History, that's cool. I wouldn't mind doing that. All right. And if you have a trivia question that you would like to ask and have us do, put that in the clickety clack tic tac. You know what I'm saying? All right. Well, that was the show. So Yeah. You've been listening to Married with Comedy with Jeff Onyx. And no other guests or hosts or co-hosts or no one. Mrs. Onyx jumped into the chat room. That was awesome. Yeah. See you next week. You know what I'm saying?